Hey guys, it's Matt here, and today I'm bringing you another episode of Matt Rants. And before we get to the actual topic of the day, I want to mention to any new listeners or subscribers, I want to say hi. Thank you so much for listening in. It's great that you're here with us today. And also want to mention that for any of you, so anyone who is subscribed to the channel who might be thinking, wow, there's a lot of Matt Rants this week, and maybe you didn't see my video yesterday on the potential of a Nintendo 64 Classic Edition coming out in 2018. If you didn't see that, I would of course suggest to go see it, but also I would say that the reason why we're having so many Matt Rants this week, not just because there's crazy news that we got to cover, but it's also the fact that I left my tripod in a place that I really shouldn't have. Now, thankfully we know where it is. We'll be getting it back. If you're wondering what the story is, what the big, hubbub is behind that, you can go check out that N64 Classic video that I did. I talked about it there. I don't want to retread because, there might be some people who have already seen it. And even then, if you haven't still, it isn't the biggest of deals. It's just I don't have it. Thankfully, though, in terms of releases for the upcoming week, we're good there because I have a lot of stuff in the pipeline ready to go or editing so that it will be ready to go by the time they need to be released, either Friday onward. So we shouldn't have a day without a release, but there's some stuff that I need to be on camera for will not be coming out. So maybe we'll be bringing back some other shows that are a bit more audio based, or just adding on some more Matt Rants. Although for this week, Matt Rants should be covered. So this will be the last Matt Rant of the week. Now, what is the topic, right? What's the topic of the day? What are we talking about today? Well, today we are talking about: is Sony ending production of PS4s in 2018? Now, cutting that together did not sound grammatically correct, but still, is Sony ending productions of PS4 in 2018? Now, the reason why this question comes up, right, the reason why this topic comes up is because recently the CEO at a recent conference for investors actually said that the PS4 is ending, or is rather heading into the end of its life cycle. I want to make sure we get that exactly correct because wording really does matter here, and my take on this might be a little bit controversial, a little bit different than what some people are saying. And the reason why is because wording is key. So why is wording so key here? Well, wording is so important, not just in life in general, not just a general life lesson, but here in particular, because saying that something is heading into the end of its life cycle isn't even saying that it's at the end of its life cycle. It isn't even saying that it's at the end of its life. So saying that something has the end of its life, to me anyway, means that it's, literally RIP, right? Rest in peace. You're gone, rather, you're dead. And also saying that it's at the end of its life cycle means that maybe it has another year, maybe, less than that, like reaching the end, coming towards the end of that life cycle. This is saying that the CEO said that it's heading into the end of its life cycle. So that right there, to me anyway, does not, make me feel as if the PS4 is just going to stop tomorrow. Right? They're going to stop making PS4s tomorrow. They're just not going to do that. So, so again, looking at the question of this video, is Sony going to stop producing PS4s in 2018? My take on that is no. And I think there are some people out there who are saying, no, they're not going to. Others are saying, oh my God, it feels like the sky is falling. And I'm not, here's the thing too, right? It might sound like I'm criticizing people like that, but I do have to admit, right? I don't have a PS4 Pro. But I know that some of you guys do, some of you guys listening in do. If you have a PS4 Pro, I fully understand why you'd be furious right now. You paid so much money, and now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you have the CEO of Sony saying, yeah, so we're going to be stopping making those PS4s soon. Anyway, PS5. Now, did not say that directly, by the way. Did not mention the PS5. However, did mention that they would actually be looking towards other Sony products, or other Sony products. And I assume things like, I think he mentioned specifically talking about things like streaming, because they do have that PlayStation streaming video game service that people have said is kind of iffy. And also I think, they mentioned VR, although mentioning that VR isn't doing as well as they thought. That's a completely different podcast, really, or a completely different Matt Rants. But the point is that when it comes to PS4s, so you might be asking yourself though, okay, but Matt, why are they talking about PS4s being at the end of their life cycle? Again, I just bought one. They just released the Pro. Why are they trying to make me upset? Like, what are they doing here? Why are they not just going to stop making PS4s when they say out loud it's reaching the end of its life cycle? Why are they going to wait, 2-3 years until they stop making PS4s? So here's the thing. This presentation and these quotes were meant for investors' ears, not ours. Yes, of course, we put money into buying Sony products, but we are not investors. We don't have millions and millions of dollars put into Sony to try to, help the PlayStation products succeed, whatever they are. We are not actually investors, right? We are consumers. So this was not, these quotes were not meant for consumers. They were meant for investors, because investors are going to notice that within the next few years, these consoles, or at least specifically PS4, Pro and otherwise, are going to start slowing down. The sales of them are going to start slowing down. Now, the reason why, because they're noticing, I'm sure, that people who have a PlayStation are content. They have the PS4. Why do you need to buy another PS4 unless, you're breaking your PS4s or other hardware failure? But even then, you might have a warranty or something like that. Heck, even if you don't have a warranty, now the FTC is coming in and trying to make sure that you can go to repair shops that aren't Sony repair shops and you won't be breaking any kind of warranties. So point is that you as the consumer, you might not buy anything after the PS4 Pro. Or heck, you might be like me. I bought the PS4, I didn't buy the Pro, right? So the market is content, is what they might be seeing, coming up. So they're telling investors, hey guys, because these investors, yes, they're investing in these companies, yes, they're putting their money down, but they potentially don't know the game business so well that they're going to sit there and go, well, it's obvious. Of course, everyone's content. No, they're investing into this company. This company needs to assure them that their investment is A-okay. Here's why this looks like this. Because you're putting in millions and millions of dollars to make sure that you have someone coming up to you, I would say a rep, but in this case it's a CEO, telling you, hey, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's okay. I know how it looks, but it's fine. But everything's fine. And that's what he's doing. This is the, oh no, don't worry, everything's fine speech. And to be fair, Sony selling millions and millions and millions of PS4s, even at this point of its life cycle. So yes, everything actually is fine. It's not like there's, anything's on fire over at Sony headquarters. But the point is that this is something that wasn't meant for our ears. But of course, it's 2018. I mean, we can hear everyone's thoughts. I mean, heck, all of us are posting them on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and all these other social media that we're posting all over and for everywhere. But when it comes to this CEO, this wasn't meant for us. If this was officially, on their Twitter, if he was talking on YouTube, this was a YouTube video of some kind or something like that, if this was like a Nintendo Direct, then to me, that's for us to hear. We should be listening. But and by the way, I'm not saying we shouldn't be listening. Of course, I'm happy that we know that this is going down. We know what's going on. I'm happy. But at the same time, our reaction should be more like, okay. So, I mean, look, you can react however way you want to. I'm just saying that the reactions that are like, all right, I guess my PS4, there's not going to be any new games coming out ever. It's like, no. Sony's been mentioning that there are new PS4 games, even I believe some exclusives as well, coming out within the next year or so. So clearly they're not ending production tomorrow. But of course, yes, the CEO said himself that the PS4 is reaching the end of its life cycle. So yes, I'm in no way doubting that. That isn't the question of the day. If it was, that would be a resounding yes. CEO said it himself. That's a fact. But the idea that we have to, sell all our PS4s. Oh God, no, they're not gonna be making any more PS4. We have to get rid of these because we have to, make money, trying to save up for that PS5. Hold your breath. Well, actually, I would say don't hold your breath because you'd be holding it for 3 years. That's really not good for your health. Don't hold your breath. You're going to end up, not having a PlayStation product unless you have a PS1 like I do or PS2. You're not going to have a PlayStation product for at least a good 2-3 years because we still have yes, we got those leaks. I even did a Matt Rants on those leaks about when a PS5 would be coming out. Even if a PS5 came out next year, they would still have to be producing PS4s because they've announced some games for the PS4 that haven't even come out yet. So, no, they are not ending production on PS4s. I would imagine PS5s come out in, I'm going to say 2020, hopefully 2020, not 2019. And also thinking about it like this too, a lot of us, so me, I'm 25. I grew up with PlayStation 1, Super Nintendo, a little bit of N64 spliced in, and then of course PS2, and then I kind of weaned off for PS3. I have one. You guys see me play, games on the PS3 on the show. But still, my point in all this is that when it comes to what we grew up with, I think with the PS3 and the Xbox 360, we thought that those 8-year long console generations were going to become the norm. So now that we have another one that at this point, it's been 5 years. Yes, it's been 5 years at this point. All of a sudden, and again, also some of you guys who just bought a PS4 Pro, which isn't a new console, but it is a really good upgrade from what I've heard. So that's kind of why, again, I understand why you're upset, but because it's still technically, it's been 5 years since the PS4 first came out, people are sitting there thinking, wow, what's going on? This is, what? No, 8 years. Wasn't 8 years the thing? Isn't that the norm? And not only is 8 years not the norm, but more importantly, by the time this PS5 potentially comes out, let's say it is 2020, then that means that it's 7 years, not 5 years. Right? Yes, the PS4 Pro, again, I get it, and because it upgrades some things here and there, it does make us feel like, hey, why would you just not wait until the PS5 comes out? Why are you releasing the Pro? And why aren't you giving us more time with the Pro? But here's the thing. The PS4 Pro came out, I'm pretty sure, last year. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure it was, I could swear it was last year. Maybe it's 2016, but let's say it's last year, right? By the time, if the PS5 comes out in 2020, then that would mean that we would have a PS4 Pro for 3 years. That's a pretty good amount of time to have, an upgraded console. It's just that because it's getting announced right now, but again, it's not even officially announced, because it was announced to investors and we're hearing about it, now it feels like it's personal, like it was directed at us. But sadly, that's just the case of some news, especially when it comes to companies and investing and things like that. And we have to realize that moving forward, sometimes the news isn't for us. We can listen to it, we can respond to it, we can react to it, but the news isn't for us. But before we wrap this thing up, one thing I would like to mention, though, is something very interesting is Sony, like I mentioned earlier, I kind of alluded to it, like, Sony could be thinking that, hey, sales are going to go down in the future. Now, of course, they sold so many recently that people think, but how can sales go down? They've sold so many. But that's the whole point. Again, like I mentioned earlier, people being content, not buying more, and that's why sales would go down. Right? So here's the interesting thing. Sony apparently is projecting that there will be lower profits for its 2020 fiscal year. So the company expects operating income to fall within a range of 130 to 170 billion yen. Now, I can't actually, I don't want to translate that currency, because if you're listening to this a month from now, it might be different. If you're listening to this technically, a day from now, it might be a little bit different. So, and especially because it's going to be 2020s, I don't really want to, to look into that right now and then be quote unquote wrong depending on when you listen to this. So, but my whole thing is, though, is that if they're projecting that, they really got to look at their investors and be like, guys, just please understand, here's the thing, right? So again, it's not like the sky is falling, but again, it's just that idea of, hey, we're talking to investors right now. So, because again, we are not spending millions and millions and millions of dollars trying to, invest in Sony. So we're not getting these talks. And to be fair, if we got these talks, I don't know how great they would be, because then people would be understandably asking, so when is PS5 coming out? Like, when should I? So talks like this, it's funny too, because to some people, they'll go, I guess I shouldn't buy a PS4 Pro. But here's what's very interesting about this. And I don't want to, call conspiracy theories or anything. And I don't think that maybe the CEO of Sony doesn't know this. Maybe he does know this. What's very interesting is, and I think some of you guys know this, and by the way, if you guys are going to say, I don't know anyone like that, it might be you. The CEO saying, yeah, so we're going to stop producing PS4s. Well, he didn't say that directly. I know it's the end of its life cycle. Might make some people think that the PS4s are now going to be rare. And all of a sudden, they start buying up more PS4s. So that's something interesting. Now, do I think people should do that? Hell no. I'm not going to say no. I'm going to say hell no. PS4s are not rare. Don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Hey, stop it. You're thinking of doing it. Oh God, he's freaking doing it. They're freaking, stop doing it. They're not rare. So potentially, though, there are some people who are not going to heed my warning. They're not going to listen to this video, watch it, everything like that. They're going to be thinking, "Wow, the CEO just said that it's reaching the end of its life cycle. That means that I have to buy 5 PS4 Pros and 16. I don't know why it's 16 and 16 PlayStation 4s, and they're going to be all boxed, and they're going to be worth so much in about 3 years from now. It's going to be amazing. People are going to be paying me $1,000 per PS4, and they won't. They won't. Stop it. Don't do that." But that is, again, I don't want to, I'm not talking about conspiracy theories here, but I do think that the CEO, being the smart man that he is, I'd imagine he's a very smart person, maybe a little bit of that here and there. But again, though, I would like to mention, though, this was not meant for our ears. So maybe he thought, well, if it gets leaked, maybe people think it's rare, maybe some people start buying more. But I do think that, personally, I still stick to my whole, we're sticking to facts here, right? Not baseless conspiracies, not baseless, conjecture. The actual facts. The facts are, he said this to investors, not to us. We're reacting to it because some of us just spent hundreds of dollars on something that seemingly is going to be obsolete, what seems to us rather soon, but in actuality is most likely 2, maybe even 3 years from now. Now, I will admit, though, and I said this as we're wrapping this up, I said this in my PS5 rant video that I did for another Matt Rants. If in 2019, Sony comes out with a PS5, I will be pissed. I don't have a PS4 Pro, but I will feel all of your anger, all of your rage. It will be in the air. I will taste it. It will taste odd. I will taste it, and I will go, oh, wow. Oh, wow. It's permeating me. It's becoming one with me. That anger will be, it will be on a level. I mean, I would understand. And again, I don't even have one. I haven't spent that money. I've had a PS4 for years now, but I could not imagine how when you spend hundreds of dollars on a PS4 Pro and then in about 2 years-ish, they release a brand new PS5. I get it. I would get it completely. But let's be real here, though. If it comes out in 2020, if it comes out in 2021, the PS4 had a long life, and the PS4 Pro had an okay life. And also, and this is the most important, if you don't want to buy a PS5 because you just got a PS4 or PS4 Pro, then that's okay. You do you. You be happy. You don't have to buy the PS5 within the first year. Heck, some consoles, many recent consoles, with the way they've been releasing their, their first years, they've only had maybe a few, a handful of games. So, or at least in the first few months or so. So really, if you got a PS4 Pro recently, even if they come out, even worst case scenario, and Sony comes out with a PS5 in 2019, you just don't have to buy it. And that's okay. Have fun in any way you want to, and don't let investor talk get you down. Because again, it's just I know I might sound like a broken record at this point, guys, but sometimes it's just not for us. But anyway, thank you all so much for listening to another episode of Matt Rants. If you liked the video, please remember to like and subscribe. And if you didn't like the video, you can still like and subscribe either way. And please comment below with your feelings on this. If you think that it doesn't matter to you, PS5 can come out tomorrow for all you care. Or you want Sony to wait a little bit, at least a good 2, maybe even 3 years, because you just got your brand new PS4 Pro and it's just so shiny and nice. And it's loud, but in a good way. And the fan is freaking, I've heard the fan, guys. It's pretty loud, but in a good way. Anyway, please comment below. Just anything you want to say about the video, about the CEO, about, Investors Day, because that's where this was actually announced. So thank you all so much. Love you guys. Take care. Hope you had fun, and tune in next time for another Matt Rants. All right, guys. So take care and see ya.